Real quick, giving all praise to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua Bashem Rakakwadash. I'm going to entitle this video "No New Members in the GMS Camps." That means nobody is to come into anybody that's new within the last, I would say, anywhere from 3 to 6 months. They shouldn't really be in the camp unless they're really show the true spirit of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai in them, because you have a lot of bug outs out there among the Israelites. You had the one situation where the dude killed his wife and killed a couple other people and killed his two of his daughters, and you have Vocab Malone saying that, well, he's down with GMS, or he used to be down with GMS. But you can't, if you make the statement that he was down with GMS, or even if he was with GMS, he was just a dude that bugged out. You're gonna have bug outs in coming into these camps. I've been watching certain videos here and there, certain debates, and guys that come into this thing, they'll watch 3 months of videos of the different camps, and then they just come up with their own thing. They'll kind of mix some of the stuff from GMS, some of the stuff from IUIC, some of the thing from ISUPK, some of the thing from other. There's so many various camps out there, and they all have different doctrines. So they'll take one thing from one camp and another thing from another alphabet group, and and mind you, they might have been watching videos 3 to 6 months ago, and all of a sudden they're master teachers. They go on different channels debating different other Israelite groups, and it's just confusion, man. The Most High, Paul said that the Most High is not the author of confusion. As a matter of fact, let me get that. Bear with me for a second. Okay, that's 1 Corinthians 14, verse 33, but then I have a couple other precepts I might want to add to that. There's one in Acts 19, verse 29, and there's another one in James 3, verse 16. Let me go to Acts 19, verse 29. I'll start from the 27th verse. Acts 19, verse 27. So that not only this our craft is in danger to be, and you can read above that, to be set at naught, but also that the temple of the great goddess Diana, and these were Jakes that were following the goddess Diana, or Diana of Ephesus, should be despised, and her magnificence should be destroyed, whom all Asia and the world worshipped. Now, it's not talking about the whole world. It's talking about those people that believed in Diana of Ephesus. So you had Israel, like I said, these were talking about Israelites. Paul was not concerned, or the apostles were not concerned about these other nations. It says, and when they heard these sayings, they were full of wrath and cried out, saying, "Great is Diana of Ephesus." So when the apostle Paul was bringing the gospel, they were fighting back with their chants of great is Diana of the Ephesians. 29th verse. And the whole city was filled with confusion, and having caught Gaius and Aristarchus, men of Macedonia, Paul's companions in travel, they rushed with one accord into the theater. And when Paul would have entered in unto the people, the disciples suffered him not. And certain of the chief of Asia, which were his friends, sent unto him, desiring him that he would not adventure himself into the theater. Anyway, you can read, you know what, let me read a couple more verses. Some therefore cried one thing, and some another, for the assembly was confused, and the more part knew not wherefore they were come together. I'm jumping down to the 34th verse. But when they knew that he was a Jew, all with one voice about the space of 2 hours cried out, Great is Diana of Ephesus. That's why you have the Kemetic community, you have Islam, you have Jake, and these are all Jakes I'm talking about. You have Jakes in the Islam worshiping Allah. You have our people following the Moors. You have in Christianity, you have different groups of Christianity. And all these groups of Christianity, whether it be Baptist, Methodist, Jehovah's Witness, Seventh-day Adventist, Pentecostal, Calvinism, Protestants, Catholics, they all have their own beliefs. But you notice they don't really go after each other. They'll just come after the Israelites. And when the town clerk had appeased the people, he said, Ye men of Ephesus, what man is there that knoweth not how that the city of Ephesus is a worshipper of the great goddess Diana, and of the image which fell down from Jupiter? That's all I wanted on that. But you can read that whole chapter. So now let's deal with all these different groups. You got all these different groups, and they're all Israelites. All right, they're all Israelites. Whether in the Kemet, those are Israelites. A lot of Judah, Benjamin. Whether into Islam, whether they're into the Moors, which is pretty much Judah, Benjamin, and some Levi. Well, that's all confusion, because we all came from one place. And that's why we don't associate ourselves with any of them groups. If they can't get it, we're moving on. And then you have Israelites that sit down and have discussion with these other groups, and all you're doing is adding to the confusion. Because when you present yourself as an Israelite next to somebody that's into the Kemet way of life or Moors, it's like you represent. It's like you're saying, we all agree to disagree, and I happen to be Israelite, he happens to. No, those people are not. Those people are not. What they're following is not correct. So you're supposed to tell them, look, you're going off. And if they can't get it, you have to move on. I was just watching a video of a sort of debate where this guy speaks about the Book of Giants. And the Giants were fighting against the circumcision. And that's why I said, and we're going to have to start doing this. We're going to have to start saying Great Millstone is not affiliated with any other Israelite group, because if we're not in the same mind, we agree in the same thing, then that's confusion. That's complete confusion. So guys that have recently been a part of the camp, you got to put them out the camp, unless they're truly, and they show that they're really studious and under orders. Because you have a lot of these guys in GMS camps. The leaders are not really leaders. They're just letting anybody come in. You got guys with dreadlocks. You got guys that shave their beard. You got guys. I saw a video with a guy with a fade, man. You just letting any old body up in the camp, man. And another thing, you supposed to grow in this thing, man. A guy that comes in the camp, he's in this thing 2 years, and you would mistake him for a guy that came in maybe 2 weeks ago. You got to grow in this thing, man. So we're not supposed to have any unity camps. Let me say that again. We're not supposed to have any unity camps. The only unity camp is Great Millstone when we come together. If the guy from another camp, he got another name, he's not to be in the camp. Now, if he wants to stay in the audience, let him stay in the audience. The GMS is not open to new members at this point in time, man. Because there's too much damn confusion in there, and that's because of the weakness of you leaders, man. Guys with dreadlocks and long hair, they out. Guys with fades, they out. Guys with fucking mohawk, they out. Guys that shave their beards, they out. We ain't gonna have nobody with pants hanging off their ass with fringes on it, man. And just like what happened over 20 years ago, hell, more than 20 years ago, we're talking about 96, 97, it was the same madness. You had the majority of those guys back at One West, they all went back. There's maybe like 10% left. The former GMS One Westers that you see now, they represent about 10% of all the men and some of the women that was at One West. And let me tell you, man, One West became a whorehouse, man. It became a whorehouse, man. There were women in I said this in the previous video. There were women in the school, young women, that was just hopping from rod to rod in Israel. It was a mess, man. Let me let this come back up. Bear with me for a minute. Yes, complete madness. Okay, it just came back up. The computer was acting up. Anyway, so no new members. Anybody that's flaky, get rid of them. Anybody that's not diligent, get rid of them. You men out there that come into this thing in a camp, you're expected to do at least 3 videos a week or more. You're expected to always come out to the camp. Now, if you got to work on a so-called Saturday, then you set up another camp that might be on a Tuesday when you got the day off. You guys got to tighten your belts, man. Too much goddamn confusion, man. And if anything comes to me and I have to judge it, somebody's going to be out. There's too much goddamn confusion. That's why One West was broken up. Because there was a lot of confusion. There was a fucking whorehouse in there. And motherfuckers was doing the hell what they want to do, man. Anyway, 1 Corinthians 14 verse 33. For the Most High is not the author of confusion, but of peace, as in all the churches of the saints. We all taught the same thing. James 3 verse 16. For where envy and strife is, there is confusion and every evil work. So you got these different camps out there. All they're doing is pushing out confusion and every evil work. You got guys, I was watching Adam Abbott. Basically what they do is they're masters at clickbait. And the Most High is not dealing with them at all, period. They'll put it as one video. They said Muslim or something stabs another Muslim, and Edomite gets their ass whipped and somebody gets shot in the head. And then what does the masses of the people go to? They go to them. That's why they'll get 18,000 hits in one day. Because it's all about, that's their glory, man. The hits that they got. That ain't nothing but clickbait. Hey, the Most High is going to deal with every last one of you camps that are pushing out this bullshit. It says James 3 verse 16 again. For where envy and strife is, there is confusion in every evil work. 1 Corinthians 14 verse 33. For the Most High is not the author of confusion, but of peace, as in all churches of the saints. All this unity camp bullshit. You got people that's teaching you got 3 or 4 different camps. You got some of the camps teaching that, one of the camps teaching that the mark of the beast is a chip. The camp next to them is teaching that the mark of the beast is an embargo. You got another camp or bunch of guys saying that Edomites can make it. You got another camp saying that Cornelius is an Edomite. Someone next to them saying Cornelius is an Israelite. That's mad confusion, man. But what they do is they're politically correct. Well, I won't step on this guy's, I won't remind him of this, or I won't try to discuss that with him. Man, I ain't dealing with y'all, man. I ain't dealing with y'all. I know the truth. I ate the whole roll pursuant to Ezekiel, the 3rd chapter, and I'm out there teaching the children of Israel, man. And another thing, you got this thing now where, and this didn't happen back in 1 West, we went out on the highways and the byways all year round, winter, summer, spring, fall. You got guys that take the whole winter off. So in closing, I'm going to say, anybody that's in these camps that recently a part of GMS, these guys that ain't right, you got to get rid of them. And nobody is supposed to be a part of no camp. You're Unity, or you're from this camp, but you kind of want to hang out with us. That's complete confusion, man. That's complete confusion. If you want to be down with GMS, you got to be a part of GMS, and you got to go by the order. You know, when you come into this thing, you new in this thing, we might appoint somebody over you, and new individuals, and give you a bunch of tests and give you a bunch of lessons. And you might just be holding signs and maybe reading. Hey, you got guys that studied, went through a couple of videos for 3, 4, 5, 6 months, and all of a sudden they're high priests. I'm going to give you another example, Fopi. The guy from Fopi, I forget his name, because he don't make no videos. He ain't out there on the streets no more. He ran out of gas. He been in this thing for a couple of years, and all of a sudden he be popped up as an elder talking shit about myself. And then eventually, what happened? That whole camp ran out of gas, and he don't go out there and speak no more. Because that man wasn't a man of the Lord. But what he does is, every once in a while, he'll take a trip up to New York for a certain occasion, and he'll have that staff in his hand, an ancient look. He looked like he from the ancient world, but he's nothing but a Negro. Most I ain't dealing with that dude. Just listen to a guy talking about, if you read the book of Giants, the Giants had a war with the circumcised. This is complete confusion and madness, man. And then you guys in GMS, and especially you leadership, you allowing that shit to happen. No new members in the camp, period. Unless an angel come down and tell you, yeah, he's a man of the Lord. But guess what? You got to watch what the angel is saying. Because we're not supposed to worship and listen to angels. I mean, it's complete confusion. It's complete madness. And you had a whole lot of people leave out of IUIC. And I'm going to say this. It wasn't the Nate and them that confused the people, because they did teach them that they were Israelites. So when they left, they threw Israel in the garbage like it was an organization. It's just a name. First of all, you're an Israelite, whether you say you're an Israelite or not. So how can you come in and wake up to the fact that you're Israelite, and all of a sudden you're not an Israelite no more, and you're a Baptist all over again. That you had no foundation. You had no foundation. Point blank, period. I'm going to say this a third time. No new members in GMS. The door is locked. If you want, you can come out in the streets or you can watch us on video. And what's the apostles, what we do is we go to different places, man. Because we're not celebrities. You got people, well, I came all the way from California to see your guys. Well, motherfucker, I'm not no celebrity, man. I'm just a man that believe I'm a man of the Lord or a prophet, and I'm prophesying. That's all I'm doing. You people are making this a celebrity type thing. And every member that's in Great Millstone are supposed to be prophets. The scriptures speak about a company of prophets. Remember Saul was among the company of prophets? Well, all of us are supposed to be prophets. If you're not a prophet, and you might be a good brother, you might be a helper, you might be, but you got to do things. We ain't dealing with dudes with hands in their pocket no more. Well, we never dealt with that anyway. You're expected to do work. And that work is to go out on the highways and the byways. If you've been here for a couple of years and you know scriptures, then it's expected of you to teach them scriptures. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom.